Hey everybody, it's Shadowstar and Crystal here for another Arrow review. This time it's episode 9, What We Leave Behind. So a lot happens in this episode, of course.
Yeah. So as we found out before, Evelyn is working with Prometheus.
Which means that Prometheus now knows everyone, including Curtis and Oliver and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he already knew who Oliver was, so...
Yeah, the other guy told him.
Yeah, but yeah, Evelyn's working, they find that out eventually, but now...
I think what they're trying to show is that she wasn't working with him the whole time, but he somehow turned her around.
No, it's probably after that last episode when she got mad at him for the whole keeping the list stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now she's working with him, which means Curtis gets hurt, which means we have drama with Curtis and his husband because Curtis is being a vigilante.
We also had some drama with Felicity and her boyfriend who, at first she was telling him not to keep pursuing stuff, and he still did, and now he's dead.
Yep. I will say, though, I absolutely love that scene at the end. We're skipping ahead, but I love that scene at the end where Oliver tells him. He doesn't waste any time. Think back to, season 3 and 4 when we were keeping dead people a secret. Oliver straight away tells him. And Felicity is completely understanding.
I know.
Bravo to this writing for not causing drama.
Yeah, I know. You'd think she would have been all, you killed him, I hate you.
I know. Felicity's reasonable. Oliver tells her straight away, this is what happens when you don't keep secrets and you have reasonable characters. I'm so glad. They could have done that scene so much worse, and they did it so good. I'm so happy. I love that.
Speaking of endings, we did get quite a few cliffhanger type things. Not only did we get that cliffhanger with Laurel showing up, but we also got something happening with Diggle. Lila called and said something's wrong with JJ, and he goes and gets guns pointed at him.
Well, if you remember, he broke out of prison with Oliver.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so, he's still technically a fugitive. So... we've got to see. I forgot that happens with Diggle. I completely forgot about that part. I knew what would happen with the ending with Laurel, of course, and so do you, eventually.
Yeah, I know why she's here and all that, but we can't say.
I mean, you haven't seen the show before, so you know about as much as anyone, and I think from what I've seen, your guess on what that probably is about as obvious as what most people's guesses were going to be.
Oh, yeah, of course, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think most people I've seen had pretty much the same guess of what does turn out to happen.
That's true, because we've seen that thing before.
Yeah, we also got different flashbacks this time. We didn't get flashbacks to Russia once again. We got flashbacks to season 1, so we could learn...
That's wrong, that's not 5 years.
No, it was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this time we got flashbacks to season 1, so that was fun. We got to pretend we're season 1. We even got to have a good old-fashioned Felicity scene, and that was fun. And, it all ties into the fact that apparently there's this guy that we've just never heard of until now called Justin Claiborne, and he apparently has a son.
First we think he's Prometheus, then we think his kid is Prometheus, but, yeah.
Well, they said
they still don't know who Prometheus is.
Well, they... no, it's the son. They presume it's the son of Justin Claiborne, but they have no way of knowing who the kid's name is, apparently.
You'd think the kid's name would be on record as the child of the divorced wife.
Well, they didn't... that's a good point, but they didn't say it. That's weird.
I know, you'd think it'd be on the records. I was waiting for Felicity to say something. She was like, his records didn't say he has a kid because he doesn't have custody. He divorced and his wife got it, and...
yeah, there's a lot of...
she didn't even say the kid's
name. There was a lot of dark stuff in this episode. The only lighthearted bit is the opening scene, because of course we get to have some Christmas scenes at the beginning, which was nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and which was great, because then, of course, Oliver... it's about the only mention of stuff from the crossover, because they do vaguely mention the Dominators and mention, Oliver, what happened with the whole Dream World stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, the crossover barely pays any impact on this episode or any future episodes, as far as I know, in Arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the one thing. Sometimes crossovers have big effects. This one had no effect on Arrow.
Yeah.
Has no effect on any of the shows. Well, I suppose Legends, but we'll get to that. But yeah, this was a good episode. I mean, you got a lot of crazy stuff with Prometheus. Billy Malone dies. You've got you kind of get some unraveling of the mystery with Prometheus, but not a lot. Because, you kind of unravel that, okay, he's connected to someone from Oliver's past. Oliver also does drop a very quick line they don't focus much on when he says that he claims that the moves that Prometheus uses is the same as somebody who was taught Oliver.
Yeah.
He says, a woman in Russia, and we've not met any women in Russia.
Yeah, but it's not that Prometheus had the same teacher, it's more like Prometheus is copying Oliver.
True, you could say that too, but we don't know who this woman in Russia is. Well, I do, but still. But yeah.
The thing is, sure, he could put tape on Billy's mouth and put him in the clothes, but how did he get Billy to, move and stuff?
No, my theory is that wasn't Billy on the roof and swinging through the window. Maybe he has two versions of his suit. So Billy was probably...
him.
Yeah, no, well, that's the thing. You'll notice he swings into the building and he manages to get out of the sight of Oliver just long enough. So he gets out of the sight of Oliver, then Oliver sees him, but it's not him, it's Billy who's been standing there the whole time.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. So, it's not like Billy somehow swung onto the roof. Yeah. Billy was standing there the whole time. So, yeah. And then, somehow Prometheus got away. But, yeah. I mean, you got to admit, it was a clever... I do like that moment because it's such a clever plot twist, if you will. Especially because think Oliver knows Billy's not Prometheus. But what about the regular people? Will regular people assume Prometheus is being killed and it's Billy? I don't know.
Nah. What Oliver should have done to prevent people from thinking that is take the suit off him.
True. Well, the interesting thing is I do know, because I've been watching reactions and reviews of people who watch this in real time, that a lot of people quite a few people actually did theorize that Billy was Prometheus.
Ah.
Yeah, so there you go. Billy's not Prometheus, although some people might think it. So, yeah, the show still hasn't told us who Prometheus is yet. But obviously I enjoyed a lot of this episode. It's got a great cliffhanger, which makes sense because it's a mid-season finale. You always got to have a crazy cliffhanger because, you'd been, in real time, you would have been waiting roughly a month after this episode to see all the stuff with Laurel.
Yeah.
But we're going to be watching it next episode anyway, which, oh boy, I can't wait for that.
The next episode is even called Who Are You?
Yeah, but I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Yeah, I'll go 8.
It was a pretty good one. Especially, a lot of action, a lot of good stuff, a lot of holy crap moments with the Billy death and all that stuff. And you will notice that even though Evelyn was still on the team for the first half of this episode, she was just mysteriously gone in the crossover. I guess they would have thought it weird to just have her in the episode after the crazy cliffhanger of her with Prometheus. So they just didn't put her in there to keep her out of your mind.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, because she wasn't in the crossover, even though, the team doesn't know she was working with Prometheus until halfway through this episode. Yeah, but as you said, the next episode is Who Are You? We already saw the cliffhanger, and you pretty much know what's going to happen. Yeah. But, well, you know some of what's going to happen, but you don't know how it's going to play out, because you've not seen any of this.
Yeah.
But, oh boy, I can't wait for next episode. I can't wait for what happens the episode after. We're getting into some of my favourite stuff. Oh boy. Okay, anyway. We'll see you next time for more Arrow and other things as well.
See you next time, guys.